today and even with those around our world. May this curtain of courage represent to you that we choose to join you in honoring the lives of your loved ones, our loved ones, and we'll never forget them.
December 2nd, 2015 was an unimaginable day for all of us. 14 people we loved were taken away from us on that day. Our employees were spiritually and physically wounded. It changed us all forever. Following the attack, the Board of Supervisors formed a memorial committee made up of family members, survivors, first responders, and county staff so we could build something that would stand forever as a testament to our commitment never to forget.
The Curtain of Courage is a place for us, one of mourning, but also we want it to be a celebration of life, akin to a small set of chapels, each signifying an individual loss, but creating a place that marks this day in time.
And today, we're here to honor the memories of those that succumbed during that day, but also to honor them that are with us today and their families that move forward. To be able to see this curtain of courage gives us all in San Bernardino County, the state and the nation, the courage to move forward.
In 2018, almost 3 years after the attack, the San Bernardino County December 2nd Legacy Report was published. It was intended to be a publicly available resource for communities and organizations that must respond and recover from similar situations. Already, that report is helping other families and other communities learn from your experience.
In America's largest county, you can get in touch with our recent history or journey all the way back to our ancient past. Camp, hike, fish, or just relax in diverse natural areas. Get up close with local wildlife, knowing your support makes their rehabilitation possible, and discover how our libraries connect you to cutting-edge technology and out-of-this-world experiences. In San Bernardino County, you'll find every adventure. San Bernardino County, opportunity plays here.
In 2006, my husband and I, we ended up homeless. We had this piece of property out here in Lucerne, so we moved on to that with our motorhome. And then code enforcement officer, Sherry Road Truck, showed up at our doors. She told us that we couldn't live where we were living because we didn't have any permits.
Regarding Sandy's case, the county has codes established in zoning requirements that would prohibit recreational vehicles being used as a residence. The reason why is because we often encounter issues like hazardous utility connections, improper waste disposal, and insufficient protection against the weather. These conditions can be dangerous for all involved.
We were actually escorted off our property. The lifestyle I was living wasn't very conducive to family, and I decided I needed to do something different. So that's actually started steps towards me changing my entire lifestyle.
Our officers are trained to establish a dialogue with the people involved. Through these conversations, we can gain a better understanding of their circumstances. This allows us to ensure people don't feel trapped or stuck in their circumstance. By connecting them with the right resources, we help them take steps towards a safer and more stable living situation.
2008, we got our house. I remember the first time I saw the two halves on the property and I started to cry. It was actually my very first home ever, and it's still our home today. I told the code enforcement officer, Sherry, I haven't had a single drink since. And I reached into my pocket and pulled out a sobriety chip to show her. She just set us on the path we're on today. I ended up going back to school. I got my GED and my associate's and bachelor's degrees. In 2022, I got a job with our county library, Lucerne Valley Branch Library. I have a life today thanks to code enforcement. Bless their hearts.
If you find yourself in a situation such as Sandy's, please contact our office. Our staff is here to help answer any question you have and get you on the right path. We're here to work with you.
Through the month of March, San Bernardino County Library is celebrating classic characters throughout the county library system. Read Across America is really popular for the first week of March, but we wanted to take that one step further and have a celebration all month long.
Today's our special characters event. We're having a party with Frog and Toad. These events make literacy exciting because they just engage the children.
For us to be able to have these kinds of activities where, we could check out books to the kids and have fun in that process is so important. Having access to materials is one of the biggest first steps to get people reading.
The library is an integral part of the community, and it's educational, it's recreational. We want to let them know that it is fun to be in the library.
Bring your family, your friends, your neighbors. They have arts and crafts, they have story time, they have painting, activities for the whole family.
Kids can come to the library to have fun, have exciting things to do, come to maybe meet their friends or do activities.
Every time we come, I feel like Lila makes a friend, and so we always meet new people in the community.
I like coming to the library because they have a lot of good books that are very interesting and spend time with my family.
My favorite thing is just the peacefulness when we read our books. It's just so fun.
The library is more than just books. It's a place where little kids can come and do a toddler boot camp and shake all their sillies out. And it's such a fantastic thing to be able to provide to the community.
We're at Paris Hill Park here in San Bernardino, and we're here to assess all of the individuals that are staying here and to try to connect them to resources with the ultimate goal to house everyone.
The number of homeless that were here has increased significantly since I first started here with San Bernardino County. So the city has been working and speaking with us about how do we make those next steps. There's a lot of seniors here. There's families here that I found today with kids. So we're trying to make those connections to get those individuals out right now.
We moved to Washington State.
And during the time that we were there, we got on Section 8. We lived out there for about 5 years, and then we wanted to come back home.
But I had to tell them, hey, it's going to be a process because we have to transition from state to state.
During the time that we sent for the transfer for our Section 8 to come back over here, it took like almost 6 months.
It's been a minute, you know what I'm saying? They said that they were gonna put me up in a room and help me out as long as I'm willing to, you know, figure out my situation.
We don't really have a lot of family or nothing like that. And this is where we were in the meantime. This is not where we want to be, but we had to go through this transition.
They have a plan in place. They were able to, show that. And so with the city motel voucher program for the interim, we're able to put them there while they wait for their permanent housing to be in place.
I have a home now, so that's the good thing about it.
And we're thankful that we met you guys and we met the people that helped us, succeed into moving on in our lives.
What we're trying to do is not only make a connection and have them feel like here's another group that's coming through to talk to us, but actually get them to connected so that they can get into some level of housing support.
We're finally getting back on track, and I just want to thank you guys for that.
San Bernardino County has always been the biggest, and once again, we're the best. This year, we earned an incredible 200 achievement awards from the National Association of Counties, winning more than any other county for the third year in a row. There are more than 3,000 counties in the United States, and San Bernardino County continues to stand above them all in terms of accolades for innovation, efficiency, and public service. Under the Board of Supervisors' leadership, we were honored this year for making it easier to adopt a new pet, raising awareness of the dangers of fentanyl, bringing Wi-Fi connectivity to Ayala Park, safeguarding employee emails from phishing scams, cleaning up our communities, rebuilding the Birch Creek Culvert Crossing with storm readiness in mind, launching the County Museum's new and improved website, inspiring the next generation of county employees, improving access to health care records, supporting production of new housing units through a housing development fund. And this is just a sample of the 200 national awards that San Bernardino County earned for the services we provide to our residents and visitors.
ARMC's therapy dog program consists of dogs that have been certified to come and visit patients here at the hospital who may be feeling a little lonely, who may have been here long term. It's just a little visit to put a smile on their face.
You want to guess what she weighs?
Close, 1:30. People do respond very well to dogs, especially in a situation like a hospital.
When people meet therapy dogs, right away, the tension just kind of melts away. It lowers their blood pressure.
This is Nova. She is basically a Cane Corso, Italian Mastiff. She belongs to an association called Pet Partners, which is the largest therapy dog organization in the country. She actually loves coming to the hospital and being with the people, and she seems to sense what people need her the most.
Oh yeah, you like your ears scratched, huh? It takes you away from, the present, gives you a little feeling of being home.
Going in and interacting with the patients' families, it helps them more than the actual patients most of the time.
You can't pet a therapy dog and not be in a good mood. This is Tula. Tula Louise. It's going to be 5 in June. She's been a therapy dog now going on 3 years. We had to first get our CGC, which is our Canine Good Citizen. We just 2 years ago joined First Responder Therapy Dogs. Would you like to see the dogs? We try to be here on Mondays. And then she's here during the week on
Tuesdays and Fridays.
And then we have a third dog that's
Here
Sunday.
Friday afternoons and Sundays.
They're bringing a lot of joy, a lot of kindness to us. The patients love them. The staff absolutely adore them. They bring that stress level down. They're not just here for the patient, and they do a wonderful job at it.
My favorite part about bringing her here is seeing the joy that she brings to everyone, because I know how happy she makes me at home. So just sharing the joy.
Both Nova and I love coming here, enjoying interacting with the people, whether it's the staff or the families or the patients. It's just a good experience, like you're contributing something.
Good morning. I would like to call this meeting to order and thank you all for joining us. Good morning. This morning, I have the pleasure of asking Diana Alexander to lead us in prayer and the pledge. Diana is recently retired Assistant Executive Officer for our county, concluding a distinguished 32-year career in public service. In retirement, she enjoys spending quality time with her family and friends and embarking on exciting travel adventures. Diana continues to serve her community as the head elder at Mount Rubidoux Seventh-day Adventist Church, where she leads a team that supports the pastoral staff, ministry leaders, and the congregation in meeting the needs of the members and the broader community. She is also the founder of a consulting corporation through which she offers keynote speaking on a variety of leadership topics. In addition, she provides coaching and mentoring to individuals and organizations, helping them achieve personal and professional success. Welcome back. It is exciting to have you here.
Hear me? Yes. First off, I'm going to go right into prayer, but I just want to say how wonderful it is to be back here with all of you. I realized when I retired on April Fool's Day, and here I am back. No, but but I just want to say I will never not say yes unless I'm not here, because this is my county. I've worked here for 32 years. I live here, and I love everything about this county. And I'm so glad, whether we're here for support, whether we're here as staff, whether we're here to protest, whether we're here to make our voices heard, we're all here. And that's what's important, and we can come together and make something great happen. So let's bow our heads. Our Father and our God, we are so humbled to be able to speak to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And yet we come boldly before your throne because you told us to come boldly, because you are our God and our Father, and you have plans for us to prosper us and to bring us to a good end. So Lord, today, as this amazing Board of Supervisors puts their heads and minds together to listen to members of the public, to listen to their staff about the things that are on today's agenda, we pray that your Holy Spirit would be in the midst of us, that you would bring a spirit of listening, of patience, of cooperation, that where there are opportunities for us to come together and come to some sort of a consensus or a plan that is mutually beneficial, that we would do that. But Lord, when there are times when we come to a crossroads and we just can't seem to get there, that we will remember that this is our county, that we're all here for the same reason, and that is to make this the best place to live, work, play, and stay for everyone, whether they live here, whether they come through here, whether they do business with us. And we're going to thank you, Lord, for the work that you're going to do today to make this a great meeting and to make us at the end of it feel like we were heard and that we accomplished something great on behalf of ourselves and the people that we serve. This prayer we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. April Fools. Let's start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. We will now move on to our memorial adjournments. Vice Chair Baca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have one memorial adjournment. It's with deep sadness that I share with you the passing of George Kenneth Clark. He was 92 years of age, a resident of San Bernardino and also known as Ken. He's leaving behind his wife of nearly 33 years, Rachel Mendoza Clark. She was the former city clerk here in the city of San Bernardino, 3 adult children, and numerous friends and family throughout the community. Mr. Clark had a heart of gold, often paying it forward for those less fortunate. There were numerous instances where he would pay for customers' groceries and purchase a pair of shoes for someone who had none. Mr. Clark does leave a legacy, and a legacy of love, generosity, and kindness, and may he rest in peace. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Armendariz. Supervisor Cook. Supervisor Hagman. All right, we will now move on to our special presentations. This morning we have one. If my colleagues will please join me in the one. I would like to ask Peter Brabant to please join us. Rumor has it may be your birthday today, too. Wow. Is it really today? Yes. Ah, happy birthday. Come on up, join us up here. This morning, we would like to present this special resolution in honor of Peter Brabant, who is retiring after 34 years with the county. Peter began his career as an automated systems technician with Public Works and is retiring as an enterprise system engineer with the Innovation and Technology Department. And he has been a great asset to numerous departments throughout his years of service. We thank you very much for your dedication to the county and all that you have done, and we wish you well in retirement.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Would you like to say a few words?
I really hadn't prepared anything. I want to thank all the wonderful people that I've worked with the county for the last 34 years. I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of fun and received a lot of encouragement and growth in this time. And I really appreciate this this presentation. Thank you. Yeah, my wife and my boss could come up. Come on up. Lynn?
I'm going to ask you to hold this.
Okay. I can do that.
Congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you. We will now move on to our reports from County Council. Tom?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are no reportable items from closed session.
And Luther, reports from our CEO.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Nothing to report from me this morning. Thank you.
All right, that brings us to our individual board member comments. Vice Chair Baca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Got quite a few events to announce. First one, just want to announce we had a tremendous turnout for National Night Out in Bloomington. I want to thank our Sheriff's Department and Highway Patrol for doing a great job. It was on August 5th, and it was building strong ties with the community. And the community was so grateful. So thank you all that were able to participate in our National Night Out at Ayala Park. Also, on that same night, we had our Ayala Park Veterans Monument unveiling. And I just want to thank, Public Works for the great work they did to create this monument. I tell you, some of the testimony that was given by our veterans, they were just so proud of what we did. We even added Space Force. We have the newest branch of the service there, but it's a beautiful thing. And Dave Jane, one of our residents here in the county, it was very personal for him because he actually gave us the idea to do it. He got very emotional. So I want to thank him for his service. He was a U.S. Army veteran, served in the Vietnam War. Also, we had a Zimmerman Elementary backpack giveaway. We partnered with our Sheriff's Department, our Fire Department, and Zimmerman Elementary, located in Bloomington Elementary. We gave out 600 backpacks, 600 spirit shirts, want to thank all the county departments that were there to partner to really help these kids get all the supplies they needed for back to school. Also, we had the grand opening of the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center Adolescent Behavioral Unit grand opening. I want to thank my colleagues, Supervisor Armendariz and Supervisor Hagman were also there and gave some remarks. But this is a great investment. This is one of its kind in the state of California. It's going to allow for 20 beds, 10 for male, 10 for female, to give our young juveniles from the ages 13 to 17 to get them the help they need. This is a great event, and it was a great investment that the county has made. Also, here in the chambers, we had the signing of the Homeless Multidisciplinary Team Agreement, AB 210, which will allow 13 of our departments here in the county of San Bernardino to share information for our most vulnerable population. It's really to get them the help they need and show compassion, but also data sharing, so we could also make good policy decisions from the board. Also, we had the Preschool Services 16th Annual Pre-Service Conference in Ontario. There was over 700 educators and paraeducators there to kick off our school year for our San Bernardino County Preschool Department. I want to thank Arlene Molina for doing a great job and really investing in our kids and our future, so it's just a great event. Also, we partnered with the Cityway on August 14th. I want to thank Thomas Sohm and the Public Defender for the expungement event. Had over 1,000 attendees there, and we're able to get 300 people some help with their records. So it's just a great event, a great partnership. Recently at our Kessler Park, I want to thank Public Works for putting up the Escoto Snack Shack. I just want to thank my colleagues. We actually named it in honor of one of our families that was very invested in Bloomington Little League. Thank you for doing that. Last week, we had a visit from State Water Board member Nicole Morgan. We actually toured Arrowhead Farms, which is a county pocket here near Cajon High School. And it was an opportunity for her to see our county and see the investments we're making on the septic to sewer program. And the great thing she gave us advice is, how we can make further investments throughout the entire county of San Bernardino, not just the 5th District, but the entire county. And she also mentioned that schools, some of our schools are on septic tanks, and how we can make those investments, but our schools are exempt. So it's a good opportunity to improve the water quality in our communities. The other thing is this Saturday, they're having the grand opening, which is a big event for the Mount Vernon Bridge, which is a big event. It's a big staple in the community. It's the heart of the community, so it's an important event for our community. I just want to highlight some items from the agenda. Item 15 is the community care expansion. It's a $10.5 million investment in state funds in the Victorville Comprehensive Treatment Campus. This is going to add 52 recovery residence beds, expanding long-term treatment for options of those with substance use disorders to address homelessness. This is a great investment in the high desert. Also, we have item 22, which is a mainstream voucher program. It's an MOU with the Housing Authority that will provide housing vouchers for many of our individuals. It's 372 vouchers to get individuals off the streets and get them the help they need. And I just want to thank our county departments for really showing a lot of compassion for our homeless population. They do a great job. Also, another one, which is to address homelessness, is item 24, the Home Keep program. This is an investment in tiny homes. This is 22 units that are going to be built in the Victorville community to try to address homelessness, to give people housing. So this is another instance where our county is showing compassion for our homeless population, our vulnerable population. The other thing is item 25. What we're doing is we're providing a funding for animal service vehicle for the city of Colton. This is a partnership between the County of San Bernardino and the Colton Police Department. It was requested by Chief Vega and Mayor Navarro. I want to thank you for their work. And item 33, we're going to have someone teaching classes at our Agua Mansa Cemetery, which is one of our county cemeteries. And the last one is item 63, is an investment in the Bloomington Sewer Master Plan. So we're really doing everything we can to add sewer in our Bloomington community. And that concludes my reports. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Armendariz. Supervisor Cook. Supervisor Hagman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I'm going to speak up for my colleague, Supervisor Armendariz, who lost his voice, so he can whisper. A couple things out. One, I just want to highlight an agenda. Item number 4 includes $175,000 to the City of Montclair for the Older Californians Nutrition Program that provide additional meals for our local seniors. Ontario International Airport continues to thrive. July saw its highest passenger count in the history of the airport ever, and most international passengers in the airport's history. So we keep having more and more flights. SCAG, I represent this county on SCAG, and By their lobbying, the state budget included extension to allocate $231 million in funding to support housing and climate goals in the Inland Empire. That's exciting for us. And lastly, the Animal Resource Center of the Inland Empire recently held this grand opening. The cities of Ontario, Chino Hills, and Montclair, and the unincorporated county have partnered to establish the Center for Animal Control and Shelter Services. During the first month of operation in July, the agency cared for 866 animals and responded to over 1,200 service calls. That's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Lynna, do we have any additions or changes to today's agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, today I have one change on the consent calendar. Item number 52 is being taken off calendar. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If we have any board members wishing to disclose a conflict of interest regarding any item, now would be the time to do so. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our consent calendar, which today consists of items number 2 through 74. I have quite a few public speakers. Do I have any board member comments or questions? Anybody wishing to pull an item? All right, for our public comment, I'm going to list off our first 3 speakers. Each speaker, when they come up, will have 3 minutes to speak, and when it flashes yellow, you will have 30 seconds left, and then red will be the end of your time. Our first speaker will be Faith Ajayi, followed by Carlo, and then Anonymous. And there are podiums on either side. Take your choice, whichever one you'd like.
Hi, my name is Faith Ajayi. I'm here to speak against item number 72. I'm a graduate of Columbia University and currently a medical student at Loma Linda University School of Medicine. I plan to practice primary care here in San Bernardino once I graduate. As a future physician, what's most important to me is not emotions, but evidence. And anyone who researches the topic of homelessness and housing first will find that the evidence points clearly to Housing First Solutions as the most financially responsible and ethical way of addressing homelessness. Funding subsidized housing that includes access to wraparound services such as substance use treatment, job trainings, legal services, and routine healthcare visits is not only the most humane solution, it is by far the cheapest. Studies on Housing First Solutions have shown that they lead to a drastic decrease in the amount of taxpayer money spent on the utilization of emergency services, meaning expensive police calls, ambulance calls, and emergency room visits that do nothing but put a temporary Band-Aid on the problem. The problem is that our homeless neighbors are dying in the streets from curable medical and psychiatric conditions. I've seen it happen with my own eyes, and anyone in this room who has been on the ground spending time with these people has also seen it and recognizes the humanity of our homeless neighbors. They're not criminals, loiterers, or a problem that we need to sweep under the rug. They're people. They're battered women, senior citizens, and even children. They're crying out for help, and rather than answering that call, we look to criminalize their existence. We propose to use more of our taxpayer dollars to bulldoze their temporary shelters, trash their personal belongings, and throw them into jail cells when it would cost less money to actually help them. As great men before us have said, the test of a civilization is the way that it cares for its helpless members. Please vote against this ordinance. Choose financial responsibility, evidence, and humanity. Thank you.
Thank you. Carlo, followed by Anonymous.
Good morning, supervisors, everyone in the general public. Child growth is very important, emotional growth and whatnot, but also is our civil rights. I would like to invite every single one aware of the homeless situation to also pay attention to the CFS situation and abuses that are going on in our county right now. We have 6,000 kids that are suing our county because of the fact that they were taken from their moms and dads on false allegations. A lot of them were. But I want to provide something. See this document here? It's over 100 pages. I'm a special operations veteran of over 13 years. Over 100 pages was given to me 10 minutes before my hearing where they stripped me and my rights from my children. Every single one of these charges were taken off, and I spent 7 months on a child abuser list. And I was removed from that list. But then after that, social workers decided to take my right of consent and travel away and grant 100% to a mother who had physically abused my kids, mentally abused them, emotionally abused them. And I asked myself, what if I would have done all that? I would have been in jail, I was told by Miss Crystal Newman, and have to register as a sex offender. But because the mother did it, oh well. And guess what? I go to the courthouse here at Dependency Court, and I talk to some of the black and brown women there, and also the men. And they got their kids taken away for so much less. I'm gonna be providing the supervisors a list, because I can't trust CFS anymore, of some of the kids in the group homes who are getting physically abused right now and sexually abused. Okay? Because CFS can no longer be trusted with their jobs. And in fact, Colonel, if we would have had anybody in our unit act in such a way to break civil rights, what would we do, sir? We'd court-martial them and get them out of the way. I'm actually demanding for the resignation of all the directors of CFS, starting with Mrs. Glasgow. Because I'll tell you what, Ms. Glasgow, congratulations on changing your name to Glasgow and getting married, but in this system, the system that you operate and run, it will remind you that your last name is Cepeda. Every day. They will absolutely look at you and remind you that you have no value. Men have no say. That a white woman with money, who's the mother of my kids, can go ahead and do the things that would send me in jail and have to register as a sex offender. But they make all kinds of excuses. I've already told the parents to start recording them, as I have. I produced a recording last time. But under the consent of council, I'm gonna hold back.
That's time.
Thank you very much. Next request to speak that we have is anonymous, followed by Fidel Chagoya. Do we have, sir, are you here to speak?
I'm Fidel Chagoya.
Anonymous also requested translation services. All right, let's move on to Fidel Chagoya, who will be followed by Peggy Lee Kennedy.
Good morning, Chair and Board of Supervisors. My name is Fidel Chagoya. I am from San Bernardino. And I'm here today about agenda item 72, which would criminalize folks that are houselessness. Currently, I work in reentry services. I work with men and women coming home after incarceration, and majority of the folks that have been coming home are older folks that end up unhoused because they're not able to access resources. Criminalizing and creating these ordinances would just lead to additional collateral consequences when folks do come home. Some of those consequences would be not being able to get housing, not being able to get employment, because these are some of the things that I've currently seen while working in reentry. And for myself, I was incarcerated as well, and I'm familiar with the barriers that come with living with a record today. That's why I'm here to ask that you oppose agenda item 72, because it will do more harm than good for our folks out there instead of getting them the resources that they need. So then that way they could get employment, they could get housing. And then when we talk about affordable housing, because I hear that a lot, right? Who is it affordable for? Because some of these folks that do have records are not able to get affordable housing because of there's restrictions on this affordable housing that they talk about. Some of them that if you have violent felonies, you can't get access to any affordable housing. If you haven't been out of prison within the last 5 years, affordable housing does not apply to you. So how is that gonna assist are folks that are unhoused. All it's going to do is criminalize them, keep them in the system that cost a lot. I think it cost over $130,000 to incarcerate an individual for a year. So yeah, we're talking about taxpayer dollars. So I think it's definitely something for you to consider to oppose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Peggy Lee Kennedy, followed by Alice or Elise Herrera.
Hi, Peggy Lee Kennedy. I currently reside in unincorporated San Bernardino County. And I want you to know that I've got over 20 years studying and opposing criminalization of unhoused people. And I have lived experience also. I want you to know that it's harmful. What you're deciding to do will harm people. So I was looking at your point in time count, which you recently provided on your website, and it says that 44% of your count is chronically homeless. You don't get that number because you're doing a great job housing people. So, I mean, it's great that you're doing things, and I applaud you for trying to assist people who are living outside and saying that you want to help, but making laws before you provide the solutions is cruel. It's just plain cruel. I want you to know that a huge percentage of the people that you will criminalize are elderly. They are disabled people. And in your count, you have 21% of the people say they have mental health issues. Now, I don't know about you, but people with disabilities have mental illness disabilities. It's the same thing. So I don't know how many people are actually disabled in that category, but physical disability, that's 22% of your count. That's a lot of people that you want to criminalize with this law. So if you look at such a huge number of people that are chronically homeless in this county that you've counted yourself, you can't sit there and pat your back saying you're doing a great job and then making a law against them being outside and think that's okay. It's harmful and it's wrong and it's inhumane. And you should seek guidance from a higher power about this, because that's not what God told you to do. Jesus did not tell you to criminalize the poor. And I think that's a really important thing. Since you start this off with a prayer in Jesus' name, I think you should look at what he actually says. He doesn't say criminalize unhoused people, make laws against them for being in situations that a lot of them are out of their control. I don't know if you've ever had to try and find housing.
Thank you very much. Alice Herrera, followed by Teresa Willingham.
Hi, I'm Alice Herrera, and I live in Joshua Tree, unincorporated Don Rose District. And I urge you to vote no on item agenda 72. Being unhoused should not be a crime. And to arrest or institutionalize people for not having housing is cruel and inhumane. It also raises a lot of barriers for them to later gain housing, to get their life back on track. I was houseless, and I know for a fact that you rack up many, many citations, and this is just another barrier, another way to keep people down. And Housing First is really the only solution for that. And it provides you with housing without those barriers. And Housing First, they don't ask you to be clean. They don't ask you to jump through hoops. They provide you housing first. And then they offer you solutions for any kind of issues that you have. And that's really the only way. You can't go and tell people that they need to clean up their act in order to have housing, and then criminalize them for sleeping outside because they don't have housing. I know for a fact I've had my dog taken away from me. I have had multiple citations for panhandling, jaywalking, all kinds of different citations. And each one of those citations is a mark on your record. And each one of those citations is money that you don't have. And if you can't pay that, then that's another citation. That's another way to like try and get you into their system. And eventually they'll tell you you need to go to jail because of these citations. And being unhoused is so stressful, and it's so hard, especially for people who have mental disabilities, for people who are just priced out of their housing, because housing now is ridiculous. I have to leave my house as October. I have no place to go. So I'm left with this choice of maybe being houseless again. And if I were to go camp out at the lake bed or something, am I going to be arrested? Am I going to get a citation? Am I going to be illegally camping?
That's time.
Thank you very much. Teresa Willingham, followed by Desiree Sanchez.
Good morning. My name is Teresa Willingham. I am a retired nurse. I've been a nurse for 30 years. I love San Bernardino County, and I love the effort that everybody's putting in to help the homeless. I seriously am committed to serving the homeless population because it's just heartbreaking to see the situations that are going on. There are so many things that are going on as far as the homeless. They have a lot. They trust the government. They want to trust. It's a total lifestyle change that they have been forced to get into. It's not all the responsibility on them. It's our responsibility also to pick up the slack, to help them, because we are to encourage one another. And in this situation, it's going to get worse. It looks like we have to just really seriously think about where we're putting our resources, because the need is so great. And the years are going to come that it's going to be greater because we're releasing the children out on the street. They have no place to go. They have no families. They're laying on the sidewalk. They're kids, our kids that we love, this is our generation that's coming up. And what are we doing? We're putting citations. We're getting them put in jail. We're saying that they are homeless and they have to be off the street or else go to jail. Is that the way we want our life to go? Is that what we're looking for? Is that the kind of future we're going to have? So we need to really seriously think about the issue. Increase the resources where they're needed, put the money where it's needed, and make housing not only affordable but comfortable. I've seen housing that's not a comfortable position at all that we're placing the people in. And so I think we need to really look at that and choose the better way. We're supposed to be, in God we trust. Let's trust God. Let's really be seriously concerned about our future, because that's what we're doing. We're not serving anybody. We're just hurting ourselves because most of these problems we've created ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Desiree Sanchez, followed by Kristen Malabi.
Thank you, Board of Supervisors, for allowing us the opportunity to explain to you why it's important for you to vote no on the criminalization of houselessness encampment ban ordinance, agenda item 72. My name is Desiree Sanchez, a San Bernardino County resident of over 10 years, and my family and I live in the city of Wrightwood, California. I'm senior policy advocate and organizer in the inland region for the ACLU of Southern California. Humbly, I come to share with you my experience of being unhoused due to my illness of addiction that led me to the streets over 10 years ago. I am one of the lucky ones who had the opportunity to survive, recover, gain medical and mental health care, obtain housing, and get hired by the ACLU, giving me a chance to pay it forward to our unhoused neighbors in San Bernardino. I wouldn't be at this podium today without the caring local community organizations who took a chance on me and helped me, like Time for Change Foundation, COPE, ICUC, and the ACLU. Agenda item 72 re-traumatizes me, reminding me that the ordinance like this would have put me on the fast track to imprisonment and death for being ill. Why would you want to criminalize me for being ill with a fatal illness similar to cancer? I wouldn't have been able to pay the $500 fine for simply living outside because of my illness that criminalization of homeless encampment ban ordinance will enforce, and would simply turn into a warrant for my arrest. I wouldn't have been able to pay the maximum $500 fine because I used every cent I had on feeding my addiction. So you, the county, would criminalize me for being ill and issued a warrant for my arrest, beginning my journey of incarceration? The second option the ordinance would offer me, if I did have $500 to pay the fine, would have offered me is using $500 on drugs instead of paying the fine. $500 of drugs and alcohol is only a recipe for overdose to my death. So I will wrap up asking you to vote no on agenda item 72, the criminalization of houselessness encampment ban ordinance, and instead offer permanent housing solutions, medical, mental, and recovery assistance to our unhoused neighbors struggling every day, living outside in over 100-degree temperature. Thank you.
Thank you. Kristen Malalby, followed by Alex Beltran.
Malaby, thank you so much. Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Kristen Malaby. I am the Care Management Supervisor for the only street medical team here in the Inland Empire. I can confirm that I am with the homeless community every day. Yesterday, I started off my day stopping off at the Starbucks on Redlands Boulevard to announce to the team at Starbucks that one of our people had passed on Sunday. Then as I made my way down the sidewalk, I found another one of my patients on the sidewalk, shaking uncontrollably. My patient has stage 4 cancer, cranial, and is missing half his jaw. He's 65 years of age. Your community of seniors are living in our streets. Your community of disabled are also living in your streets. I see it every day. People that don't want to be there. People want to be inside. However, the options for being inside are practically non-existent if you have some sort of standard for yourself. Your room and boards are charging people $900 a month with 4 people to a room, claiming that they feed them meals if you consider a peanut butter and jelly sandwich a meal. You have room and boards that are infested with bed bugs and other things going on that can easily reinfect a patient who is being treated for open wounds, which most of your people are, considering that they are walking most of their day. Cellulitis is a #1 thing that we see amongst most of your community. Not offering affordable housing, and when we say affordable, we mean affordable by percentage of someone's paycheck, not based off of a standard income. That doesn't work here. We have vets that only receive $1,100 a month for their service. I'm talking about veterans who have served. They are dying in our streets every day. We are the only medical team that treats here. Please hear us. The housing first model may work for some, but we do not have a mental institution. A lot of your community that people see on the streets confuse use for actually a mental condition. Please be aware of what's actually the facts of the community living on the street.
That's time.
Thank you. Alex Beltran, followed by Latoya Saipali.
Good morning. My name is Alex Beltran, and I am a resident of the 5th district. I am here today to urge the board to vote no on agenda item 72. I believe that we're all one layoff or one large medical bill away from being unhoused in this in these times right now. We all see the rising cost of groceries, obviously housing, everything is going up, wages are staying the same, and it's hard to keep up. We need real housing solutions, like many before have said, and more people after me will explain. A majority of unhoused people are over 50 seniors that most likely live off Social Security and they can't keep up, so they end up unhoused and are looking for help and looking for a solution. They're not trying to break the law and end up incarcerated. We need to help our unhoused neighbors and help our community instead of punishing them just for being poor and not being able to keep up or just having to get a large medical bill or so many cases that we've heard. So again, I'm urging the board to vote no on this agenda item and support the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Latoya Sapale, followed by William Sapale.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Latoya, and as a child at the age of 13, I was homeless. Not due to my choices as a child, but due to the circumstances I was placed in. During these times, I would walk several miles to school because I was adamant to get an education. And after school, I would have to find where I was going to lay my head every single day. I had no equipped family, no resources, and no shelters that was not already at capacity to turn to for assistance. I was forced to sleep in homeless encampments or whatever abandoned house I could find to rest my head that night. If I would have been convicted as a criminal for being homeless during these times, I would have been robbed of my future, robbed of my opportunity to turn my circumstances around, robbed of my future. I would have been in the hamster wheel cycle of homelessness had I been convicted for being homeless. Although I was dealt a bigger hand than most youth at my age, not being convicted of my homelessness has given me the opportunity to better my situation and overcome it. It gave me the opportunity to have a chance in life. I thank God that not only did I overcome homelessness, because everybody doesn't have that luck, but I've also received and completed my college education, ran several businesses, including housing elderly that also were homeless, and have been blessed to be able to feed our current homeless residents. So criminalizing me for being homeless would not have been the answer for my future or our current homeless citizens' future. I oppose Agenda 72 and pray that you would find in your best interest in doing the same.
Thank you very much. William Sapale, followed by Maribel Nunez.
Hello, how you guys doing? So I'm a staff member for from Dr. Green, VVFRC, helping with rental and utility assistance that's not available, and also now transitional housing that's not available. So the amount of phone calls that I receive on a daily basis that's due to homelessness is probably on I would say 40 to 50% range. And on top of that, we got people who call that are gonna be homeless due to a bad set of cards that were dealt. So now in this bill, now we're also gonna throw the factor of criminalizing this too now as well. So I oppose item 72, and just to see already to make this window for them to have any opportunity to gain any forward or any progression, just gonna make it harder for them. The phone calls I receive are even from kids, from counselors at high school saying that they have nowhere to go. They are homeless. So please understand that now are we gonna give a record to this child who has nowhere to go, who's reaching out to their counselor, they don't have a place to stay, and now we're gonna criminalize that as well. Understand that I receive these phone calls on a daily basis. So all we're gonna do is basically make it harder for them, for the door to shut, for them to receive work, to receive job, just to be a normal abiding citizen. So hear me when I say that voting no on Agenda 72. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Maribel Nunez, followed by Sharon Green.
Hello, everyone. Maribel Nunez with Inland Equity Community Land Trust and also the Inland Empire Tenant Union. And I want to thank the supervisors, the staff, and the Inland Region Housing Justice Coalition, bringing a lot of different partners today to speak about item 72. I do ask that if we could modify the item on 72 to oppose as is, but see if we could think of holistic ideas, how to address homelessness, and do it in a way that's humane. I really appreciate just working with the county. Shout out to Carrie Harmon and the supervisors here on issues of housing. I wanted to thank Board of Supervisor Joe Baca, Board of Supervisors Paul Cook, in supporting us in our efforts of how we address housing. We're going to have our groundbreaking Plan Adelanto Community Land Trust. I know with Supervisor Joe Baca has been supportive in writing letters of support in different grant opportunities. Supervisor Cook has helped us with staff, how we work with the county to get our permits. And just continue, like how do we expand those types of work, building pathways for home ownership. That's the way we could really work towards addressing homelessness. We were able to, we have 20 acres up in the unincorporated part of Adelanto, near the Adelanto High School. And there we're building pathways to home ownership, to low-income folks. So we have 4 units that are ready to break ground end of August 30th, and for people that are below 120% AMI, we were able to get 2/3 of the funding through our state budget ask with Assemblymember Juan Carillo. And I know that the county is doing, what they can to get state funds, federal funds. Can we use matching funds from county discretionary funds? Because a lot of that is using to sweep encampments, to use for sheriffs. So like this could help projects like Community Land Trust, getting housing out of the speculative market, building low barrier, giving people second chances that were formerly incarcerated to be able to build community wealth. And so with our Inland Empire Tenant Union, we're getting the word out about housing and tenants' rights, civic engagement. We got tenant union members from Hesperia, Redlands, San Bernardino, Ontario, Victorville, Adelanto. Mobile home park residents are also renters as well. So bringing a lot of folks about their rights and that alternatives to social housing or community land trust and things like that. So please oppose item 72. Let's put funding like projects like Plan Adelanto. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Sharon Green, followed by Marcos Orozco.
Good morning, Chair and Board of Supervisors. My name is Pastor Sharon Green. I am the founder and executive director of Victor Valley Family Resource Center. We provide emergency, transitional, and permanent supported housing for our unhoused community. I'm here to stand against item 72. Most people don't choose to live in encampments. There are a number of circumstances that will lead someone to make that choice. Therefore, I have a number of concerns with this item on the agenda. First and foremost, there is no affordable housing in the state. As affordable housing is a relative word, the income that I have determines what's affordable for me. The other concern for me is that VVFRC has made numerous attempts to open apartment units, duplexes, and homes. This county has been an obstruction to the majority of those projects. I don't want to deal with that here, but the shared housing that we currently do is not paid for by this county or by any other government. We saw a need that needed to be met, and did so. Therefore, until we get housing that is truly affordable for all of our residents, and there's no unhoused people in our communities, I will continue to stand against item 72. I am praying for each one of you as you are facing and looking at this decision on the item, that we remember we prayed this morning opening up the meeting, but the Bible tells us that what we do to the least of his little ones, we're doing it unto him. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Marcos Orozco, followed by Christina Trujillo.
Good morning, Council. Good morning. My name is Marcos Orozco. I live in Victorville. I work for BVFRC for transitional housing for Dr. Sharon Green. I vote no on agenda item 72. I don't see where it equals criminalizing homelessness and that equals to solving the problem of homelessness. I don't see where we get of criminalizing. That is in my line of work, it's all these people, they need help. And these programs that like the transitional housing I work for, it's what saved my life. I came through the program. I was on the other side. And through stuff like through programs, as the program I came through, helped me be the man I am right now. And I don't understand why trying to make these homeless more criminal, trying to make them criminals, and by finding them, how is that going to solve the problem? I don't get where that makes sense. But I vote no on I oppose the criminalization of this of trying to criminalize homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Christina Trujillo, followed by Mario Garcia.
Good morning. My name is Christina Trujillo. I'm a Long resident and part of the unhoused community also and family. I'm here to oppose item 72 because I'm out there every day doing the same thing everybody else is trying to survive, trying to get by, trying to get back on my feet. It's hard when you put things like this in front of us because now we're more barriers we got to go over. We were housed and we were kicked out again, but this time it's not fair because the landlord took it upon himself and signed contracts and kicked us out. Still no reason why. Now we're back out again. We're in a motel. Just by the end of this month, we should know if we're going to get housed or if we're going to end up back in a tent. I just hope that you guys will understand that we are trying our best to get off the streets. We're doing our best. We're meeting you guys halfway. We're not asking for a handout. We're asking for a hand up to lift us, help us lift ourselves up. And if you guys can meet us halfway, like we're meeting you guys halfway, that would be great. But making this item 72 is not going to make it easier for us. And believe me, there's a lot of us out there trying to meet you guys halfway. But we're getting let down and turned down or either rejected. And it's making it hard. So if you guys could oppose 72, we're willing to meet you halfway to get off the streets. Not all of us are out there to stay out there because we want to. Life just took a turn. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mario Garcia, followed by Albert Gutierrez.
Hello, my name is Mario Garcia. I'm a resident of San Bernardino County, and I do mutual aid work with unhoused folk around San Bernardino. And I asked the Board of Supervisors to oppose item 72 as it further criminalizes people that are just trying to survive on the streets and are in positions that are systemic and aren't really individualized. No one wakes up in the morning and decides to be homeless. You know, it's through a series of events that gets them there. And I think further criminalizing these people wouldn't really solve the issue, especially when we're proposing this without any solutions that haven't been built yet. And, you know, homeless people are just people just like anyone else. They don't deserve to be put in this cycle where they're constantly being put into jail. They're given vouchers at hotels that in turn kick them out. These are all very temporary and Band-Aid solutions. And so I think by opposing item 72, we can work towards a more permanent solution and more long-term solutions that can actually really help get people off the streets and to work and then to shelters and help them create a life that they would want to live. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Albert Gutierrez, followed by Christina Trujillo.
Hello?
Good
My
morning.
name's Albert Gutierrez. I've been homeless since I was 12 years old on different circumstances, right? But off and on throughout the years, I've had apartments, I've had jobs, I've had all this. I was gonna come here today to discuss about this and that, but I've listened to the board. I've listened to what you guys, in the beginning, what you guys offer, right? But doesn't that oppose Prop 72, whatever it is, 72? You talked about homeless shelters or places being built and this and that, but doesn't that contradict this 72? Now, I've been listening, right? And I'm homeless myself, right? And I'm still gonna keep fighting every day. I still look for jobs every day. And me, I come with the past, right? So there's a lot of roadblocks for me, but I still fight. I've had jobs in the past. I paid my taxes. I understand. San Bernardino, I'm a lifelong resident of San Bernardino City. So San Bernardino County and City is my home, right? I believe that we forgot about these ethics and people that have voted for people to be in office, voted for people to be a part of the people, right? I believe that we forgot that our neighbors, whether we're homeless or not, we've already experienced hardship. You know what I mean? I'm talking not about mental issues, drug, substance abuse, none of that. There's a lot of other percentage. You know, you talk about a certain percentage, out of what percentage? Out of 100? 22% of what? Out of 100? So that makes 80-some% or whatever, right? Whatever percentage you guys come up with, you got to look at the other percentage, right? Of individuals that are willing to come out of where they're at. Sometimes life, we don't have a manual, people. We don't know exactly what to do with everything, right? But today, we know that life has changed. Circumstances have changed. You know, the environment has changed. The economy has changed. So a lot more people are becoming into this epidemic of homelessness. I am homeless, like I stated. I believe Amadeus made some comments in the beginning about things being built and this and that, but that contradicts 72, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You're talking about criminalizing homelessness, but yet you're here stating that you're building this, you're doing this and that. Which is it? Are you criminalizing or are you building?
That's time.
Thank you very much for your comments. Christina Trujillo, followed by Fatima Baeza. Kurt says she already spoke. Fatima Baeza?
Yes, that's me. Christina already went. I don't know if she
Thank
wants to
you.
go again.
I'm Fatima. Oh, it's already going. Oh, shoot. Okay. Sorry. Hi, my name is Fatima. I've lived in the cities of San Bernardino and Highland for most of my life. Earlier this year, I started meeting and getting to know some of our neighbors that are unhoused. Hearing about their experiences with the services they are referred to and seeing what they have to go through every day to stay alive is enough for anyone to know that simply criminalizing living outside solves nothing, unless the solutions you're satisfied with are to make this subgroup of people out of sight, out of mind. A greater effort needs to be put into staying in touch with unhoused people who needed help. The county may refer unhoused folks to the city or county services that are meant to offer help with getting a path to getting housed. But when people live on the street, they don't always have access to a phone that they can contact the services they were referred to with, whether it's because of their phone getting stolen or not being able to pay a phone bill that month. While accountability is important on both ends of the continuum of care, on one of these ends, there are people struggling to survive, having to split the little money they can get from donations between necessities like food, tarps for heat protection and shelter, personal hygiene items. Making it unlawful for an individual to dwell in the only places they can be in is especially cruel when the alternatives being offered are services that do not have a track record of getting the majority of them into permanent housing. Banning encampments won't get rid of them. It will only lead people back to living on the streets.
Thank you. The last three speakers that I have will be Lorraine Enriquez, followed by Ashley Dial, followed by Joaquin C. Lorraine?
Good morning, supervisors. My name is Lorraine Enriquez. I'm just so moved by all the comments so far. Kind of want to cry about it because it's real. It's really happening out there. I did go to the point in time count this past time in January, and I was really touched by what I saw out there. They're living in, so they're almost like digging a hole to cover themselves with their tent. And people are living in the channels, and you give them these little bags. But it's just all temporary, like everybody's saying. This is not the way to go. I'm in opposition of item number 72. I think that the Board of Supervisors should be ashamed of yourself for even considering passing something like this. Back in 2021, you all had to return money to the state of California because you didn't use the money for homelessness. Shame on you guys. You guys are really quick to support the sheriff's department with helicopters, but where's the money for the homeless people? Criminalizing homeless will do nothing to help the population find housing and other needed services. Instead, it will force them into an endless cycle of incurring tickets they can't pay, jail time they don't deserve. This is really a waste of taxpayer dollars. The real solution to homelessness is building more affordable housing and investing in job training, mental health, drug treatment programs. So I really urge you guys to vote no on this. Hear the people, hear what we're saying. Find other solutions, and don't vote yes on this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ashley Dial, followed by Joaquin C.
Hi, good morning. I'm loud enough. My name is Ashley Dial, and I'm here from the IE Tenants Union. I'm a resident, a tenant. I live right down the street, and I hope you guys oppose this because this item number 72, it's very detrimental that some of us, the Bible has a quote. It says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." A lot of people are being displaced out here due to their lack of knowledge of their tenants' rights. I thank God I'm here to speak on behalf of the city of San Bernardino homeless people because I was living in Mesa, Arizona. I had to relocate out here because my daughter fell behind. Thank you to Mr. Baca for having an amazing program that helps the scholars get leadership and government experiences. But I live down the street where the rent is increasing. They have slumlords coming in from multiple cities purchasing properties. There's no oversight. There's no accountability. They're raising the rent. They're blackmailing us. I have issues that have not been fixed. As we learn our rights, it's very unfortunate that we are being blackmailed as tenants. I used to live on the east side, on Del Rosa. A lot of my neighbors are unfortunately living in Tent City because departments are allocating funds. They're being stolen by corrupt landlords that people are allowing to come into these communities to take advantage of uneducated people. And it's very unfortunate that homeless people are going to be criminalized without seeing the issues that we are facing. I'm kind of frustrated because I was heading out to Tent City pretty soon because I can't afford the rent. And it's very unfortunate that if I did have to relocate temporarily, I would be looked at as a criminal due to me not being able to afford the rent. I live right down the street on Arrowhead. My rent increased from $1,700 to $1,853 once this new slumlord company, Bridge, IA Management, PAMA, all of these different corporations that they choose to hide under because they're taking advantage of people that are poor, that are getting out of prison, that are not aware of corporate criminal people, corporate college educated people. It's very unfortunate. These are some of the things that we have to experience. I have a daughter, thank goodness, that is in leadership right now. And due to all of the experiences we had to go through, it propelled her to be something out here. It's very unfortunate she had to go to Tent City to take one of her middle school buddies some food the other day because his family packed up and went to Mexico and left him behind. So now he's sleeping in Tent City, and instead of criminalizing
That's time.
Thank you very much. Joaquin C.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. I'm an attendant and community. I'm here representing the Center for Community Action and Environmental Justice and in solidarity with all those who have spoken in opposition to item 72. As an environmental justice organization, we believe that every person, no matter background, color, class, anything, deserves the opportunity to live and thrive in their community, and they deserve to have the conditions to do that. Criminalizing our homeless community is not going to put us in a path towards, giving them opportunities for a better life, to find homes. That's not the way we do it. It feels like the county has done a lot of half attempts to address the homeless issues in the past years, and now it's almost like, oh, we're giving up and, this is the solution now, criminalizing the homeless community. There's solutions that exist. There's organizations that are doing the work, and we should be following their lead. The county should be following their lead, should be getting the guidance from folks who have been doing this work for years on end. There are policy solutions that exist to make sure that people are not pushed out of their homes, like rent freezes or rent caps. And those are the type of solutions we need to make sure that people don't end up sleeping on the streets, that people don't end up not being able to afford their rent. And criminalizing the community, the homeless community, is not going to do anything. In Bloomington, there's a dollar store that a lot of homeless folks like to go, because it's easy access to food and everything. And they're always getting called on, by cops, by the sheriffs, and they clean up the area, and then they come back, because there's where would they go? If you could push people out from their encampments, but where are they gonna go? What we really have to think is the next steps after that. How do we solve that issue? And like I said, there's organizations that do amazing work with that community, and those are the folks that we should be taking lead on. Take lead on from people who have been, on the streets talking with the community for years and years on end, that are coming up with solutions that address these issues. That's where we should be looking for. Those are the solutions we should be looking at, not just criminalization and pushing people away and, not thinking about what happens next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is the last request to speak that I have, so I'll bring it back to the Board of Supervisors. I do have a question for council on clarification on the ordinance that we're introducing. Is that including flood control?
The ordinance applies to the county, so it's county property. The ordinance would apply in the unincorporated county, not in incorporated cities. Flood control property, my understanding that the county owns sometimes is in incorporated cities where this ordinance wouldn't apply. But the county as a property owner obviously has the right to keep people from trespassing on flood control property that it owns in an incorporated city.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments? Entertain a motion on consent? Thank you for
Seconds.
Thank you for the motion, Vice Chair, and the second, Supervisor Hagman. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. With that, the consent calendar passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. With that, we will move on to our discussion calendar. We will start with agenda item number 75. It is a policy plan amendment, zoning amendment, and conditional use permit for Titan Industrial Rental and Recycling Facility. The project is being presented this morning by Miguel Figueroa, and I will open the public hearing. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Rao, members of the board. My name is Miguel Figueroa. I'm the Land Use Services Director. With me is Kevin Marstall, the Interim Assistant Director for the department. As you rightfully mentioned, introducing the item, we have a presentation for you today. The project before you considers several important elements. Titan Equipment Rental and Large Collection Light Processing and Recycling Facility is located on 4.24 acres of land within the Fontana community. The project consists of the following elements: a mitigated negative declaration, mitigation monitoring and reporting program, a policy plan amendment, zoning amendment, and a conditional use permit. Next slide, please. The project elements include an equipment rental truck maintenance building, an equipment rental office, a large collection light processing recycling facility, a truck scale, an outdoor equipment rental yard, 97 parking spaces, perimeter block walls, and landscaping. Next slide, please. The project location, as you can see, is in red and sits at the crossing of Live Oak Avenue and Valley Boulevard, north of Interstate 10. Next slide, please. The project design considers a 150-foot setback from residential properties per development code, a 10-foot high block wall along residential properties on Live Oak Avenue per the noise study that was conducted, an 8-foot high block wall requested by the applicant for security measures. It is important to highlight that that recycling activities require a 150-foot setback from residential properties, and rental activities do not require 150-foot setback from residential properties. Next slide, please. As you can see in this image, we'd like to share with you some important facts about the perspective of the building. The conditional use permit that you're considering today looks at a construction of a 32,400 square foot prefabricated metal building. The building architecture or materials, it's important to know that have not been defined at this time. The development code does not require a specific architectural building design. Recycling activities must be within an enclosed building per the county's development code. The perspective shown in this image is conceptual for illustrative purposes. As I mentioned, the final design and materials will be included for review as part of the building plan check submittal for this project. Next slide, please. CEQA evaluation requirements considered an initial study with a mitigated negative declaration. This was prepared and circulated from October 4th, 2023 through November 4th, 2023. This complies with the mandated 30-day public review and comment period. I'd like to note that no comments were received. The mitigation, monitoring, and reporting program includes measures to reduce the potential impacts to a level below significance for the following elements: aesthetics, air quality, cultural resources, geology and soils, hazardous materials, hydrology, noise, tribal resources, utilities, and service systems. Next slide, please. As it relates to public notices and public comments, on December 2021, during a neighborhood community meeting, the following comments requests were received: a block wall for screening purposes and noise reduction, the elimination of noise from security alarms. On August 2023, during another project neighborhood community meeting, the project applicant committed to the following: a proposed 10-foot-high block wall and the installation of a new silent alarm system. On September 2023, project notice was mailed to the surrounding property owners within 300 feet, advising them of the proposed project. Again, I want to highlight no comments were received. On August 2025, a notice of hearing was published and mailed to the surrounding property owners within 300 feet. Again, no comments were received. Next slide, please. The proposed project aligns with the county plans and for specifically compatibility with existing uses and the land use map as it's stated within our countywide plan. It's important to note that this project met all public noticing requirements. Next slide, please. The Planning Commission held a hearing on December 5th, 2024. The Planning Commission approved the proposed project by a 401 vote with one commissioner absent. No comments were received. This concludes the project presentation. Staff is here to answer any questions you may have. The project applicant is also in attendance with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have one request to speak on this from a Miss Alice Wong. Okay. Thank you very much. Any board member comments or questions? I will close the public hearing and accept your motion. Thank you.
I'll second, but I also want to congratulate you on your first presentation on the board. We made it easy for you today.
Thank you very much. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 75 passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Item number 76 is a policy plan amendment, zoning amendment, and conditional use permit for overnight solar facility project, also being presented by Miguel. And I will open the public hearing.
Chair, again, good morning. Miguel Figueroa here, Land Use Services Director. By me, Kevin Marstall, Assistant Director for the department. Before you, as you rightfully mentioned, we have a presentation on the overnight solar facility project. This project considers a policy plan amendment from rural living to resource land management on an 822-acre parcel in the community of Hinckley, a zoning amendment from rural living to resource conservation on the 822-acre parcel, and a 456-acre parcel, a conditional use permit to construct a utility-scale 150-megawatt photovoltaic solar facility and battery energy storage system on 596 acres of the 822-acre parcel. And the final element, 1.1 mile long gen tie line located on the 456-acre parcel. Next slide, please. As you can see on the image before you, the project area is that square marked with a red outline. It sits at the crossing of the Harper Lake Road and Hoffman Road. As you can also see, it neighbors with other solar projects within the area. Next slide. As seen on both images here to your right, the proposed substation is on 4.2 acres within a 300 by 300 square foot area. Individual lithium-ion cells are contained in 10-foot-high steel battery cabinets. Next slide, please. The Planning Commission approved the use of an earth tone cabinet color for the battery energy storage system on May 22nd, 2025. The applicant is proposing the following changes. Change the cabinet color for the battery energy storage system to standard white. Install earth tone screen fencing around the battery energy storage system and substation site. Next slide. As the image shows, a gantry tower would elevate electrical current up to 65 feet in height. A gantry pole will carry electrical current to off-site substation. Next slide, please. Per this slide, here you have the before and after view of Lockhart Ranch Road looking southwest. Next slide. Here you will have the before and after view of Lockhart Ranch Road looking northwest. Next slide. As it relates to project notices, SB 18 noticing took place on December 13th, 2023. Notices were sent to the Native American Heritage Commission and 14 tribal governments. AB 52 noticing took place on January 17th, 2024. 2 tribal governments requested consultation, the Morongo Band of Mission Indians and the Yuha Viatam of San Manuel Nation. Project notices distributed on October 26, 2023, with 1 comment received 4 days later on October 30th, 2023. Next slide. The proposed project aligns with the county-wide plans, specifically as it relates to the land use element and the renewable energy and conservation element. Next slide. As it relates to CEQA, there was a notice of preparation spanning from January 18th, 2024 to February 19th, 2024. An online scoping meeting webinar took place on January 31st, 2024 with 1 attendee, and there were 5 comment letters received. Key issues noted included impacts to the Mojave Desert tortoise, the Mojave ground squirrel, burrowing owl, air quality, dust control, and water resources. Next slide, please. The public review of the draft environmental impact report consisted of a 45-day review period commencing October 2nd, 2024, running through November 18th, 2024. 5 comment letters were received. 1 late comment received from the California Energy Commission came in on April 4th, 2025, noting concern with incomplete portions of the desert tortoise exclusionary fencing on Harper Lake Road. Mitigation measures include inspection, repair of existing Mojave Desert tortoise exclusionary fencing along Harper Lake Road during construction, limiting the speed to 15 miles per hour on the project side. Off-road travels are prohibited in all native habitats adjacent to the project site, inspecting undercarriage of vehicles and equipment prior to moving. Next slide, please. So it relates to the Planning Commission. A hearing was held on May 22nd, 2025. No comments were received. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the proposed project by a 401 vote with 1 commissioner absent. At this time, Chair, members of this board, this concludes my presentation. Staff is here to answer any questions you may have. The project applicant is also in attendance.
Thank you very much. We have several requests to speak. We're going to start with Timothy Amon, followed by Frederick Riddell.
Good afternoon, supervisors. Thank you for your time and attention to this. I'm Timothy Amon, lead organizer, IBEW, Local 477. I'm also the coordinator for our Veteran Electrical Entry Program. I'd like to speak in support for the overnight solar project. This project does allow us to maintain and expand the growth for our Veteran Electrical Entry Program. I count every head as a success. I count the man hours on this job as the ability to do that. Projects like this allowed me to become a first-time homeowner in 2011, so I know the value that these temporary jobs can bring. When it comes to construction, often referred to as temporary jobs, we're also electricians, and it's referred to as a career. So from one temporary job to the next, these are what we need. I support this project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Frederick Riddell, followed by Gregory Temple.
Thank you, supervisors. My name is Frederick Riddell. I represent the owner of the Overnight Solar Project. I appreciate and we appreciate the opportunity to continue to grow in San Bernardino County. We are also the owner of the adjacent solar facility that you saw in the presentation. With me today are members from our contractor, a California company, CSI Electrical Contractors, along with members from IBEW, Local 477, Local 441, Local 440, and Local 11. Thank you, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. Gregory Temple, followed by Louis Lopez.
First of all, I want to say good morning to the Board of Supervisors. And my name is Gregory Temple. I'm actually a 37-year member out of the IBW. And just like Tim, he's my counterpart. I work on staff there as a business rep. And also, I have a program also, which is called a ERP program, which is a electrical reentry pathway program, where we take individuals that were incarcerated and we put them with careers. And the last cohort we just finished, we have out of the 15 people that got into the program, we actually have 9 that are actually IBW members at this point. And this is what these type of projects do. They allow us to hire more people and give them chances into the apprenticeship program. And that's why I vote yes on this project. And I'm hoping that you guys can find in your hearts that passes through. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Louis Lopez.
Where am I at here? Okay, there we go. Greetings, Madam Chair, supervisors, staff, community. My name's Louis Lopez. I'm the business agent for the Ironworkers Local 433, both here in San Bernardino County and Riverside, but I reside here in the county of San Bernardino. I urge, just as the Planning Commission voted in favor of this, I also ask that the Board of Supervisors also vote in favor of this project. This project allows, I know for the ironworkers, we're probably looking at 100 plus members being a part of this project. I myself, just like Tim, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so the veterans are very dear to my heart. I have the privilege of also sitting on the Workforce Development Board, where there we work with a number of veteran resource centers that I'm able to get a number of veterans, those men and women coming back from service, serving our country proud. Either they're coming back home or they're transitioning to the county of San Bernardino for a future. And it allows me to get them into our apprenticeship program, which typically, because of their military leadership, you see a lot of those applicants being leaders, not only in our ranks, but also within the community. So after serving our country, now they're using that leadership to build our country. As far as temporary jobs, I don't like to look at it as a temporary job. It's almost like a doctor. You know, they go to school, they do the schoolwork, and then they have to go do an internship somewhere. So this is like the on-the-job training for our apprentices. They actually get out there, outside of the classroom, and get out there and work and earn while they learn. So it's a great combination. We need jobs like this to continue our apprenticeship. The other population that I really have a dear heart to is we work with the probation department here in the county of San Bernardino. Some of those probation officers will call a number of the trades. I know there's a few other trades that work with them too. But once those applicants prove that, hey, they're ready for their next course and being productive in the community, then we're able to interview them and get them on the right course and being productive members of society. That's my reward for the job that I do, helping veterans and helping those second chance people. But we need jobs, and they're not temporary. Thank you, and may God bless.
Thank you, sir. That is the last request to speak that I have. I'll bring it back for board member comments or questions. All right, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Supervisor Hagman, for the motion, Vice Chair for the second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. With that, item number 76 passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. The next item that we have is item number 77, which is the first cycle of 2025 Policy Plan Land Use Element Amendment, also being presented by Miguel.
Chair Rao, members of the board, Miguel Figueroa again here with Kevin Marstall. Before you simply
I'm going to
is...
open the public hearing officially. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And please.
It's open now, right?
Yeah.
With that said, we want to bring before you for consideration the first cycle of the 2025 Policy Plan Land Use Element Amendment and associated project approvals for Titan Industrial Rental and Recycling Facility and Overnight Solar Facility projects. The presentations for each of those projects were mentioned in my previous two items. At this moment, this item only requires your consideration of the approval of the two other items within number 77, which is the environmental and project findings.
Thank you very much. I have no request to speak on this item. Any board member questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Thank you, Vice Chair Baca, for the motion and Supervisor Hagman for the second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. With that tie passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. With that, we will move on to public comment on items not on today's agenda. Thank you, gentlemen. We have first up to speak is Peggy Lee Kennedy, followed by Teresa Willingham. Peggy Lee Kennedy. All right, we'll move on to Teresa Willingham.
Ms. Kennedy is back.
Peggy Lee Kennedy, if you're here, please. Thank you.
Hi, Peggy Lee Kennedy. I live in Don Rose District. I'm really ashamed of the fact that this county wrote a letter in opposition to Senate Bill 634, which would basically decriminalize people who are out there doing mutual aid and helping people on the street. And that would include religious people. So I don't know why you did that, because you should be joining hands with the people out there on the street doing this kind of work, especially as volunteers, because that's where their heart leads them and they really care. So it's a shame that you were opposing that. I didn't see a copy of the letter. I just heard that you submitted a letter opposing it in the committee when I was listening to the committee. And also, I wanted to comment on your point in time count of homeless people in the county, that 62.5% of them reported they had zero income. That was shocking to me, but I really get it, because I've helped people try and get on disability who were truly disabled, and it took me years to go through the system to help people, and they had to live on food stamps for years because they couldn't even get the general relief. They were denied, and we appealed it, and I mean, that was a lot of work. And then I had to get a lawyer and appeal their disability, I mean, years to get just a Social Security. And this is a veteran, a person who worked part of his life, that it's shocking the way the county is treating poor people, and that they have to live on the street with that many of them with zero income. They reported 62.5% zero income. That's shockingly high. So thank you. And I would hope that you would really do more humane things and look at things in a more humane fashion, instead of, the idea of opposing decriminalizing care. People that do it as volunteers, like that state bill that's going through the process still. I don't know where it is right now. It might be in suspense, I'm not sure. But Senate Bill 634, you opposed it. It was awful. Please reconsider these types of things.
Thank you. Teresa Willingham, followed by Carmen Gallegos.
I'm going to speak about the legislation of a bipartisan legislation that was passed in 1974, the Runaway and Homeless Youth and Trafficking Prevention Act. It was already introduced by Senator Collins and Senator Durbin. The problem here is that in our streets, we have more kids that are being released on the street from foster care, from school systems that can't support them, from families that don't have any means to take care of them. The families are being, the parents are being victimized by the ICE, and the kids are left on the street. I see it. I'm out there. I'm volunteering, trying to help them, but the resources are so limited. There's no one to turn to. The kids just need a home, a place to stay, somebody to say that they love them. They need even somebody to just communicate to them, just talk to them. But the kids are out in the street. They're hanging around the schools. The social workers that I've reported several kids to have just ignored me. They tell me, oh, they're just kids that are maybe in school and they just ditching a school day. But no, I hear the kids out there. They tell me they're sleeping on the streets, on the sidewalk for days. And then I hear also stories where kids have menial jobs. There's one kid the other day working at a 99% store, 99-cent store. He was evicted from his apartment because they said he was making too much money. I mean, just ridiculous things. And they're exposed to a lot of violence, a lot of crimes. And you're talking about drugs and fentanyl. It's on the street freely. But after a certain hour, and especially on the weekends, there's no medical teams available in San Bernardino County. So the kids are being exposed to anything, any and everything. And the criminals are taking advantage of them. So I think we need to really be aware of what we're doing. And so we need to really support this. We need to have more funding. We need to have increased length of stay from the foster care and the care centers. They release them when they get to age 21, but we need to try to change that. We need better transitional living programs for the children. We need to be able to combat more youth trafficking measures that'll provide for the kids on the street and keep them from being discriminated and taken advantage of. And then we need more funding, at least for more projects that would help us to reach more children, more youth. And we need mentorship and training programs that would help us to get more social services for the kids. And then they could follow them for more than a couple of months. They could follow them for a couple of years out in the street to make sure that they are following
That's time.
Thank you very much. Carmen Gallegos, followed by Mary Geese. Guys?
Yes. My agenda, what I originally came for, I did try to reach out to BACA about dealing with animals and nature and what goes on around us. As we are in a forest, mostly in the forest, that we go by the forest jobs, but also the animals were also taken advantage with a lot of people with the occupations they put into the street when they should be in the companies or residential, and they're combining the residential and the companies together, and they're coming up with a bunch of fires. Because you're combining not only chemicals, but with, it's really turned into concentration camps. I couldn't believe myself, and they were using children, giving fireworks to children and starting fires. And that's wrong. You're supposed to help the children, protect them. But also the animals were also one particular incident I had went and called on a fire. Good Samaritan, by the way. That is what they're talking right now. They're Good Samaritans. This is illegal if you arrest somebody for being homeless. I know. I had to do that. I had made so many phone calls, I don't even know. There must be a record breaker on that one. Because the fires that I saw, I couldn't believe. The eyesore should have been the hello to everybody. Flipping cars and bikes in the eyesores. There shouldn't be eyesores. There should not be battlefields. You should not get injured for calling for these battlefields. I had to deal with a lot, But I couldn't believe, the animals too. Hey, we eat and we clothe them. We clothe from them. But anyways, yeah, I didn't know this was going on. Yeah, I called as a Good Samaritan. And anyways, so you're checking on, worried about a kitten to show up. I had to call for a sheriff. They never got back to bring in a kitten. Well, this is all I got. Man-made. And that's pathetic. You need to look out for the animals too, because they weren't looking out for them either. People were evicted, left their animals to fend for themselves. Samaritan laws. I had to go to court for calling Good Samaritan. That's wrong. I got injured for calling Good Samaritan. What, you didn't arrest me on my job? Something wrong with you? Our job's to call in to tell you this. So no, 72, that's illegal. That's criminal charges on you. Because you should be fixing it. You have a county full of employees. I go, you got all these employees and see all these illegal fireworks? Day and night, you didn't see it? I had to call it in. All the
That's
fires.
time.
Thank you. Mary Geis, followed by Darcy Clapp. Well, until Mary shows up, welcome, Darcy.
We're switching gears here. Supervisors, I have provided a 5-page copy of the design and physicalities to prove the irreversible impact of the Old Dominion freight will have on the DeVore community, and especially the intersection of DeVore Road and Cajon Boulevard. ODF is a trucking and freight company. They don't do anything else. Page 1 gives you an idea of the ODF in Rialto, which is considerably smaller, that they want to propose for Cajon. Page 3 is the conceptual site plan termed the Cajon Boulevard and Glen Helen Parkway Terminal. It will house 800 trailers. The plan is ingress and egress on Cajon Boulevard, which is 1 lane north and 1 lane south. Dane, the ODF spokesman, says that ODF will increase the lanes, but that's impossible because their plans go underneath the 15 freeway pylons, which cannot be extended in size. Trucks would have 300 feet to go from their widening of the 2 lanes to squeeze back into one lane. Page 4, pay close attention. Their site pattern is only to turn right from Cajon Boulevard into the site and then egress right again. Then where do the trucks go? If the design were only to turn right, how do trailers really get there? Well, a trailer would have to drive the 15 freeway, get off at Kenwood, turn right, turn left, access Cajon Boulevard. Remember, it's only 1 lane, and then turn right into the project. Or go north in the truck bypass, get off at Kenwood, turn left, go underneath the 15 freeway bridge, turn left, finally getting onto Cajon Boulevard. ODF has not addressed this. This is not in their study. This becomes another bottleneck on the other side of DeVore, which no residents can leave, and we have the emergency factor. Page 5, I actually sat at DeVore Road in Cajon, west to east, for a signal rotation. After the signal turned red, immediately 4 trucks stacked up on the DeVore overpass to access the North 15, South 15, or the 215 freeways. Dane at ODF spokesman wants you to think that this is a great location and an in-depth traffic study has been ordered, but the study only looks at the DeVore community and our roads. It will not include or doesn't include the DeVore Road, Cajon Boulevard, Glen Helen Parkway, and the DeVore overpass. They don't want you to see the big picture and the enormous impact on both sides of DeVore. ODF gets an 800 container freight company, and we become a worthless trucking mecca. I ask you, supervisors, to look at the entire picture. ODF knew when they bought the property what they were buying, and they hedged. DeVore would keep their mouth shut. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last call for Mary Geis. Dee, are you ready? All right, let's do Dee Denton, followed by Antoinette Jensen.
Good morning, supervisors. I'm here today to comment on the development of the Glen Helen specific plan area
and the pending zone changes that have been presented and will be coming back before the board shortly. DeVore is a unique area, centrally located, and it's highly likely that constituents from each of your districts across the community, since we're a highly traveled route through San Bernardino, High Desert, Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, and Ontario. So my point is that the development and the changes in this area really affect everybody, not just my community. The Glen Helen area has an enormous development that we've seen over the last few years, and there's still lots of large projects that have not yet started and little infrastructure improvement. My concern is to limit the control of the development in that area. The area is currently bombarded with pallet areas or pallet yards, legal and illegal, semi-truck trailer parking rental areas, food vending businesses, buses all along our streets, and other business owners that are seeking open space to store their junk and clutter our area. Now, I do realize that you do not have the ability to tell business owners the type of businesses that they operate, but it's my hope that you can control the type of development or businesses that come to this vital area. Please, in the upcoming weeks, take the time to drive and look at the DeVore area, the 215 and 15 interchange, so you can truly understand the constraints in the area and understand the type of development that will currently affect how our county will operate in the future. That was my first thing. My second thing is sitting here as I've been coming to these meetings. I think it's vital that the supervisors really educate their community on what goes on in these meetings. I never got that education, and the things that are being decided in this room without our members being able to have access to it is shameful. I see him down there that he did these presentations and they didn't receive any public comments. When you get public comments that are 300 feet from an area that's going on there, that development is not going to only affect people 300 feet from that development. It's shameful that we don't educate our people, and I would really hope that the supervisors could find some time or find a way to really educate these up-and-coming youth that are going to be here, that are going to be the advocates for our area, and teach them how our community and our government runs in our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Antoinette Jensen, followed by Des Alvarez.
Good morning, supervisors. My name is Antoinette Jensen. I'm a whistleblower who was retaliated against for mandatory reporting. I took these items to the superintendent, Ted Alejandre, and he's ignored it. So now I'm coming to you. Edwanda faked a full-day TK by putting children into preschool, underpaying non-credentialed staff, and stealing ELOT funds over 13 sites. That is tax fraud. This led to sexual assault allegations involving 3-year-olds and Title IX violations. I reported this to Superintendent Ted Alejandre, and instead of fixing it, he ignored whistleblowers and used taxpayer money for cover-ups and legal defense. At the same time, SBCSS members profited. Sherman Garnett, board member at Upland Unified, ran a seminar, business paid through retroactive purchase orders. Don English, employed by SBCSS and a board president at Chafee Joint Unified, made sure his division got a cut too. Richard DeNava, employed by SBCSS and board Chafee. And board president at Chafee Joint, made sure his decision got a cut. And DeNava, Alejandre's campaign manager and business chief officer, he approved these illegal payments. This is pay to play, and all orchestrated by Ted Alejandre, county superintendent. Laura Mancha, employed under Supervisor Armendariz in preschool programs, has the expertise to know better. Yet with illegal credentialing, TK fraud, tax fraud, sexual assault lawsuits on the record, she has only rubber-stamped Alejandre and raised his salary while taking campaign donations enclosed on a Form 700. And Ted keeps the cycle alive by donating to his favorite people who rubber-stamp him in return. Under Government Code 84308, no official can vote on matters involving campaign contributors. Government Code 1090, no officer may approve contracts where there's a financial conflict of interest. Under Title IX, ignoring sexual assault and retaliations against whistleblowers puts funding at risk. Supervisors, the law is clear. Alejandre and DeNava are both under investigation by the FPPC, the auditor who signs the checks himself. That is also a conflict of interest. This means that the County Board of Supervisors, you are now responsible. You must step in and order a forensic audit by an impartial auditor. The record shows pay to play, FPPC violations, Title IX violations, credentialing violations, tax fraud, misuse of public funds, conflict of interest by the County Superintendent Ted Alejandre. Along with Richard DeNava and under investigation, every one of these crimes has been put on your desk, and it is your duty to act. These are small children, and they deserve 3-year-olds, special ed. And Laura Mancha, she sits there, she rolls her eyes. Not a problem here, right? She works literally right here
That's
in preschool.
time. Thank you very much. Des Alvarez, followed by Carlo.
You are responsible for our county's transitional assistance department, which includes Medi-Cal. The state provided a $3.4 billion loan due to the Medi-Cal system operating at a deficit. I believe San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools Ted Alejandre, Beth Freer, and Etiwanda School District have been committing Medi-Cal fraud. I think they've been doing it for years, and I have some compelling reasons for why I believe they are committing fraud. My son has been out of school for a year due to a bad evaluation conducted by Etiwanda School District. The evaluation was conducted while he was medicated. A lot of the information is also inaccurate and misleading, and many of Etiwanda's records prove that. I have been trying to get the evaluation removed for years, but Etiwanda won't remove it even though the CDE says it can be removed. I tried appealing Etiwanda's decision, and they brought me into a meeting. I wasn't allowed to have any witnesses, but they had one of Ted Alejandre's attorneys there and didn't inform me an attorney would be present. The attorney refuses to give me any of my child's records, and Etiwanda has never given me all of my child's records. Why is Etiwanda so fiercely holding onto a report that is so flawed? I think the records they are hiding from me are the Medi-Cal LEA BOP billing and payment records. I think Etiwanda and Ted Alejandre want this evaluation to stay on my child's record because they billed Medi-Cal for 2 years for services my child never received. I think Beth Freer, Etiwanda School District, and Ted Alejandre have illegally billed Medi-Cal for many children. If you look at the Medi-Cal LEA BOP website, the billing person for San Bernardino County is from SBCSS. I think Beth Freer is committing Medi-Cal fraud, and I think that Ted Alejandre is aware and responsible for her crimes. Ted Alejandre would financially benefit from her crimes, and it makes sense that he would want to cover them up. And Etiwanda is not the only district that she has worked for in San Bernardino County. I think Mr. Alejandre is aware of other districts illegally billing Medi-Cal. These districts can bill for evaluations, transportation, and many services, and I think they are committing Medi-Cal fraud on a massive scale. And I believe that Etiwanda and Ted Alejandre can commit more fraud due to the Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative. Etiwanda spends money like it grows on trees, and I believe they are defrauding the CDE as well as Medi-Cal. I think their actions are negatively impacting Medi-Cal, and it's time to hold them accountable. I am asking you to investigate Medi-Cal fraud and hold Ted Alejandre responsible if you find Medi-Cal fraud. I would also like to see a system where parents will know when the districts are billing for services, because none of the districts provide this information right now. And I would also like help getting my child back into school, and I cannot return him to school until this evaluation is removed, which was also billed to Medi-Cal. This evaluation is bad for his mental health. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Carlo, who will be followed by Karen.
Supervisors, thank you. You know, I was going to talk about one point, how a social worker can charge, according to Transparent California, $124,000 in overtime. One social worker I'm very aware of, familiar with. I wanted to delve into that subject about time cards and their ability to falsify allegations on court documents and omit information about my kid's abuse, but we can look into time cards, right? See if they're actually working 1,800 hours over their prescribed full-time duties. But I had a conversation with Mrs. Jeannie Cepeda right now, and this is what kind of took me off my game, but here I am. You know, it is clear and obvious from the top all the way to the bottom that men are treated differently. I asked Ms. Jeannie Cepeda, If my dad would have put me in the bathroom and showed me what abuse was, she said right now, yeah, it would be different. So why did my daughter suffer that at the hands of her mother? It's different, isn't it? When my child got body slammed for reading the Bible, it's different if a woman does it. My daughter wanted to read the Bible. I asked her why did Miss Crystal Newman tell me that I would have been in jail for what the mother had done and registered as a sex offender. She said that Miss Crystal Newman would challenge that assessment. I'm like, well, I can show you the recording if you like. The issue's here, and I'm starting to discover that it is rotten to the core. That's one. The second one is the impunity that they have. Now, whether or not they see child abuse too much, that they no longer recognize it, but there has to be a change. And a white woman, regardless what language she speaks, who sprays her kids in the face with oven cleaner, should never have a response by Miss Sneed out of Rancho Cucamonga is not important with me. It should be very important to every single one of us. A ver, let me see. Anyone, raise your hand, especially CFS. Is spraying the kids in the face with oven cleaner important? Is it important? Raise your hand. It's very important. I can't hear you. CFS, is it important? Supervisors? I'm a veteran, but we deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen, followed by Les. Karen? All right. Do we have anybody signed up to speak as Les? Good morning, Les.
Sorry about that. Hi, my name is Karen Reich. My grandkids were living with me on the day that they were removed, which by Dana Faulkner and Betty Thompson Larkin on June 5th of 2024. By social workers that my daughter had placed my grandkids in my care. They were living with me for a month. I want to know why my grandkids were removed from me when they weren't harmed, they weren't abused. Even the reporting party said, herself standing right here, that it wasn't about abuse or neglect. So why did they even get involved? So why were my granddaughter was taken to the emergency room last week for a head injury. This is twice now that my grandkids have been taken to the emergency room. When they were in my care, they were never harmed or hurt or injured by any kind of play or any kind of circumstance. When CPS removed my grandkids from me, they put them in danger by putting them in the foster care system at 10:30 at night by strangers, placed with strangers. And that's not traumatizing on 3-year-old twins. The baby was left with the paternal aunt. I want to know why Jeannie Zepeda can't tell me, Dana Faulkner can't tell me, Betty Thompson Larkin can't tell me, Jamie Richter can't tell me, Mr. Flowers can't tell me. Maybe Luther Snow could tell me because he's high up there on the chain, the food chain. Why were my grandkids removed when the criteria for removal was not met? They were fine, they were happy. That would have meant that the social workers had to do their job and maybe create a management safety plan. What a concept. Wow. Leave the kids with the family. You're ripping families apart to cushion your ever-growing budget. Maybe Dana Faulkner had a buddy who had a foster home who needed to go on vacation this year. They're advertising for people to be foster parents so they can make their mortgage payments, not because they care about kids. I want to adopt my grandkids if my daughter doesn't have the wherewithal to get them out of foster care. I was in the delivery room. I was with them. When they lived next door, I saw them every single day for 2 years. I have a bond. How would you like it if it was your grandkids? How would you feel? They were removed from me, but yet CPS won't talk to me because it's not my case. Well, tell me why they came and took them. Tell me why, please. Because I have a bond with my grandkids. I have a right to my fingerprint. I'm trying to get RFA approved.
Did you grow up them?
Yeah. But
Did you grow up them?
That's time.
Were they grow up? No.
Thank you very much. The last request to speak that I have is Les.
These meetings are too early. Most of the people in this building right now are county workers. They're not even part of the community. That's the sad thing. The item 72, I see that you guys basically passed it and bringing it back up again. But you guys turn around, like my man said, you guys are contradicting yourselves. You guys say that you're helping the community, but then turn around trying to make homelessness, trying to make homeless people criminals. But 2-3 years ago, we called the state of emergency dealing with homelessness, and still no homeless shelters, still no resource centers from the city councilmen, still nothing. Another thing too, when can we get these prostitutes moved off the block in front of this elementary school called Jones Elementary? We have prostitutes in front of it, so we need to do something about that. The fire department, I would love to see emergency shelters because we do get a lot of fires out here in San Bernardino or California, period. For the people that work for ICE, y'all some sellouts. And if you're a Mexican and you work for ICE, you're a sellout to your people and sellout to the people as well. What else? The juvenile hall. I see that they're getting sued just like CPS was getting sued. So now the juvenile hall allowing children to be raped in their systems. And that's a fact. What else? Yeah, that's about. Hold on. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you very much. That is the last request to speak that I have. This meeting is adjourned. Our next regularly scheduled Board of Supervisors meeting will be held here in Chambers on September the 9th at 10 a.m. Thank you all.